or any compression, which you need for a conversation, so that you can hear what you're saying, so that you're not out here spraying, and then you ain't out here praying. If you scared, go to church. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. Go to church. Nah, I'm just kidding. Check, check, 1, 2. All right. How about this? How about the audio? That's muted. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you're here on the Backyard Show. I turned down the EQ because shit. You know? I don't know why I wanted to start the show off with this song. I've been listening to music all morning, and I'm like, dude, Mr. Beast? Dude, how the fuck am I not gonna start the show with this? Sorry for my lackluster energy, but I'm just fucking... Well, I took a bong rip right now, so that probably explains some of it, but... Holy shit, man. See, I was gonna start the show off with another band, too, but it's just my mind, you know, like... It just does that thing. It's just like, nah, keep going, keep going. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the band that needs no introduction anyways. What the fuck am I saying? Everybody fucking knows who La Muerte is. Come on. If you're from LA and you go to shows and you're out there, even if maybe you're, well, I'll say, even if you're not like a ska kid or like a punk kid, like, nah. A lot of people know La Muerte, dude. I was working here. I was working at, I'm not gonna say, but I was working at this vegan restaurant, and I was working there with my homie. We also go to shows. That's besides the point. I'm always playing my own music. Like, a lot of times I'll play like La Pobresca, or I'll play like Cerebro Negro. You know, sometimes I'll play like a little bit of, you know, just a little bit of, like, all the ska bands you hear like out there. And I'm usually in the back, but this time I'm working the back and the front. And the singer for La Muerte comes in. A lot of you guys know him as Manny. I know him as Manny. I only knew him as the singer for La Muerte. And I'm like, oh yeah, dude, like, it's like, you know him. It's like, but the thing is that I started seeing him after he, okay. I saw him, I've caught wind of him because of La Pobresca. Now, a lot of you guys know La Pobresca is also a ska core band. Yeah, my homie showed me, the same homie I worked with showed me that band too, so it's funny. And yeah, he's just a cool guy, man. Like, it's just, I didn't even know him like that, but it felt like I knew him. Like, you know, it felt like we were already friends. So, yeah, if any guys want to, yeah, well, that's them. Fucking, you know, if you guys want to see La Muerte, you know, they got shit on Spotify. Honestly, fuck listening to them on the internet. Track them down. Find one of their shows. Don't track them down like that. Like, you know, don't be a fucking crazy person. But go find them, and then, you know, dude, listening to them live and watching them play live is like one of the craziest spectacles of being in Los Angeles. This is the type of shit that makes me not want to leave Los Angeles. Like, when you go to shows like this, oh my god, like the performance, the showmanship to go along with the songs, and then the camaraderie that they all have on stage. Like, okay, I couldn't handle doing a show like with multiple people like on the lineup, like comedy, and then, you know, most of the time it's just you're in a room of people that you don't know, but you're in a room full of people that you don't want to know. Like, there's a lot of that in stand up that I fucking hate, because it's very rare when you like do a show and then somebody that you like, or somebody that you know, somebody that you've kicked it with is on the show, or you've done a show with them before and they're cool. It's very rare. And then but I get, it also depends on who's throwing the show and the spots. But like, every time I go to a ska show, it's like everybody there that's on stage together looks so fucking happy to be there. Like I've seen Leftover Crack play in the Regent like once, and I've seen so many of these bands that I've seen growing up, like that I've been watching since high school in backyards, like do that, and they are still. It's like they're the happiest they've ever been. Not even like before. It's crazy, man. I gotta close that window. Every episode is gonna start off with me closing this fucking window right now. It's the one thing I can't fucking change about myself. Alright. Honestly, I feel good, but I feel broken, like always. No, like I started doing Muay Thai. I fucking love doing Muay Thai. It's so sick. We're gonna get back to all the bands and the music. This is gonna be a music heavy episode, but I just want to take some time to talk about me, talk about my life, because I don't know. Well, it's not gonna be that long, anyways. I'm not very that interesting. As I take a sip of 7-Eleven coffee, I'm freaking out, huh? You guys are like, wow, chill, dude. Well, yeah, fucking, I started learning Muay Thai, and it's God, it's crazy. I kind of started before I was going to train at this dojo, and I thought I knew a little bit. As soon as I get there, it's like, no, yeah, I've been doing this shit all wrong. So now I'm learning how to do it properly, how to stand, how to do. I learned how to do a switch kick, which I've been doing all over the house. I've been trying to switch kick everything right now. Switch kick a fucking water bottle off my dog's head. And it's fun. Like I'm definitely gonna start making it a regular thing. I'd say, I have a gym membership, and I'm like, I'm gonna cancel that shit. But enough about me. I want some psycho out there trying to keep my gym membership alive. I don't know. Dude, there's so much fucked up shit. Like, as much as you want to, like, chill and, like, alright, I'm gonna sit back and, like, watch a couple of fucking episodes of SpongeBob, it's almost like you can't. It's like there's this thing in the back of your head. It's like, turn on the news. Turn on the news. They're going crazy, man. Like, something in the back. It's like, it's my Bill Burr voice. It's like, turn on the fucking news, man. Okay, I gotta stop doing that. Fucking now, don't you hate when you emulate people and you're not even trying to? It just happens. It's the worst, man. I always emulate, well, Bill Burr. Um, I used to, I started out emulating Bill Hicks. Dude, these topics are everywhere. I don't know what the fuck is in this coffee. It's supposed to be hazelnut, but yeah, I'm just trying to stay afloat. Everybody is, dude. The world's going crazy. Like, there was protests on the 101. On Sunday? I think it carried out onto Monday. I don't really know. I think it carried out into the no work protesting, and which, you know what? I think is fucking smart. I never thought that would actually happen. Like, there's that movie A Day Without a Mexican. Like, that's some real shit right there. I've never seen it. Parents wouldn't let me watch it. I knew when I was a kid, I knew that shit was fire. I was like, nah, that sounds like, no. I want to know what happens. What would happen if there was no Mexicans? And no, I really like that. I really like how nobody showed up to work and they went out to go protest. Think about it though. That's all of America. That's all of California's like workforce. Well, Southern California. Literally the entire workforce said, "Fuck that. We're not gonna work. We're gonna go protest. We're gonna protest." And that's just fucking cool, man. But yeah, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna protest because it's, I do agree with it though. And if I could not show up to work, I would. Believe me. I would be there with you. But I am in an interesting standpoint. I'm right in between getting my life together and being too broke and unmotivated to do anything about it. So, I'm 25. But that's now it's the age where it's like you got to get your shit together, or it's like you got to at least start thinking about getting your shit together. Cuz like when you're in your early 20s, everybody's, you're just a kid. You'll learn. Like even like 24, people, you're young. You're fine. I'm like, am I? I feel like I'm going to die tomorrow. And so like the whole point is like when you're 25, you got to start thinking about, oh, now I got to start doing this and I got to start doing that. But I don't know, nobody's ever told me yet. I know except for the homies that like, oh, you're going to be a quarter of a fucking century, dude. You're going to be like, it's going to be a weird age. You're going to be like, oh, dude, this shit's going to happen, that shit's going to happen, and then you're going to be like this. And then you're going to have to track down a frog, and you know how that goes. So I don't know. I before I even hit 25, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be 25. I got, but that's anytime. Like every time I hit a new age, I'm just like, fuck. It's it's like your health bar goes down like permanently. You know how your health bar gets longer throughout the game, and then like there's that one part where like you get all your armor stripped off, and then now your health bar is just like little again. I think I'm thinking of God of War. You guys like God of War? God, it's such a good game. I was like, what? Too young when that game came out? I was too young to play that game when it came out, and I fucking love playing it. Did a lot of things like that. I was like, you know what? I know this game says rated M, but I'm gonna play it. I don't care if it's 17 and up. I'm 8. I can make my own decisions. As soon as you're 9, as soon as like you're creeping up 10, you know you can make your own decisions. Like if you're in 4th grade, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? 5th grade, you're like, all right, I'm gonna start testing these. I'm gonna start testing waters now. Then by the time you get to fucking, by the time you're 10 years old, you're like, all right, I'm doing shit. I'm running this bitch. So yeah, it's a nice day in sunny California. It's Tuesday, February 4th, 10 in the morning, dude. I've been getting up late. I've been being an unemployed boy. Just been having, fun, like trying to focus on myself, my podcast and my comedy. I got a couple spots today, so I'm gonna make sure I fucking bring it. I've been working on this, so I don't usually talk about my comedy because I don't like, I'm very shameful when it sucks, and if I post it and I'm like, all right, it's something, and people know it's not, because people don't know how writing comedy works, but that goes both ways. Like even if you're writing comedy, you don't know how you still don't know your voice. You don't know what to write. You're just writing about bullshit. There's so many things that go down, like, and then if you're displaying it to an audience and they don't think it's funny, like they're not laughing, you know it doesn't work. Once the audience starts to laugh and once they start seeing, potential, then that's when it's like, okay, now this is what I can focus on this now. But I'm still not gonna be posting anyway. Like a lot of the stuff that I post is just like me, like off the cuff, kind of just either riffing or throwing in lines that I've written that I don't know how to set them up. So I just throw them out there. Before I would do like, I was just seeing this like, I saw a clip, like a comic like posted like a reel or a clip or something, and it wasn't bad. It was okay, but it was like that they use that style where it's like they're lying to you, they're lying to the crowd, and then they kind of push it off as a misdirect, and like they tell you like, oh, this is the truth about me, kind of. I don't know how to. I didn't explain that right. Half of you already clicked off, but um. No, there's just like I used to do. Okay, I used to do shit like that where it's like the setup is a lie, complete lie, and it was like the punchline that you use is what makes the setup like it's like you're calling yourself out on your own lie. So it's a cheap way of doing a joke because then people are like, oh, okay, haha, like it's like a different type of laugh. You can tell also how your material is by the type of laughs that people do. So I don't know, you gotta listen to that. Maybe I'm just fucking, I really am schizophrenic, but no, I'm not schizophrenic for sure. The doctors told me otherwise. Too many gulps in this fucking. Too many gulps in this episode. It's a gulp heavy episode, bro. That was pretty cool how I made the water do that. I actually fell into the water. That's what that sound was. So I've been doing a lot of short stuff, joke. I've been doing a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm doing a lot of short king material, dude. I'm using it for the meantime, so that I can find my true comedic genius. So, but it fucking works, like, so. Because I'm not really into doing the self-deprecation stuff. Like when you make yourself seem like you call like some people go up on stage and they'll just be like they'll just legit just call themselves a bitch, and then try to move on like they didn't like it didn't happen. Like that's another thing. Like there's comics that address things and there's comics that don't address things. You gotta like learn. I mean, about yourself, like that's okay, but like when you like read the room, like you gotta learn how to do that. I didn't really even know how to do that because I was so focused on trying to make my jokes, my not funny jokes, work. So it just takes work. It's a lot of fucking work, man. Um, yeah, that's another thing about that. Like ever since Ken Flores died, it kind of shook up the fucking comedy world. At least the LA scene. But I mean, there's so many people that loved Ken Flores that definitely aren't from here and live somewhere else, and that's how you could tell the impact that he had. And because of his work ethic, it was like he had a very serious work ethic, man. So it's makes you think a lot. That's why you gotta just keep doing it every day, even if you're fucking tired, man. Like, dude, the man was dying, and he was still out here being a fucking star. Like, I'm not saying it's that's what it takes, but that's the type of fucking mentality you have to have. Is like, I gotta be out here. Doesn't matter what the fuck's going on. Like, I gotta come every day, go to these mics, whatever the fuck it is, and make it work. Gotta be the best. You gotta be better than. You gotta be better than yourself yesterday, and you gotta be better than everybody else. That's just how it has to be. Like, there's no other way. There's a lot of work that goes into it. So, yeah, it's pretty shitty. Pretty shitty. He's only 28. Fucking, you know, can't imagine that. People are just dying younger and younger. Everybody's fucking already jumping on the conspiracies and shit. Even if you like, whatever the fuck, like, that's what happened. Like, he died from whatever it was. So, rest in peace to that dude. Dude's a fucking soldier. If there was ever like a like a like how like there's a soldiers soldiers. He is a soldier. Definitely deserves a Purple Heart and a dog tag. No pun intended. But no, yeah. It's fun, man. It's real cool. I love doing comedy. It's moments like where you realize there's more that you can do. There's a challenging aspect to it that kind of just makes you want to do it. It's like doing Muay Thai. Like, oh my god, I wanted to in the right when the class started, we didn't even start doing drills, or we didn't we weren't doing we didn't start sparring. I guess we were doing the drills. Duh, fucking. So we're doing these like, I'm like, all right, this is okay. fixing my stance, my posture, getting the right shit. Halfway through the exercise, like the warm ups, I was just like, "Ugh, I gotta do this every fucking time I come here. This is fucking crazy. I'm already fucking drenched. And wait, we're not even done. We got a whole hour of this. Fuck, it was crazy. But I pulled through. It was fucking sick. Um, my sparring partner was really cool. The coach, our coach is just a dope guy. I looked him up on YouTube, and he has this whole thing. I'm more than uh I guess honored to be there at that dojo specifically. So it's fucking cool, man. Saw a couple familiar faces there too. Real cool. You know who you are if you're listening to this. I'm definitely gonna make martial arts a part of my life. I think it's something that I need. And it's good. It's good for the soul. I woke up sore as a motherfucker today. I'm gonna go hit the bag after I do all this, but I don't know. I think I need a rest, and then I can do it tomorrow. Gulp heavy, man. This episode was brought to you by Gulps. So, yeah, I've been just chilling, man. Trying to get as much mics in as possible. Take an off day, at least, and then just keep going. I got a good set working. I want to, my whole goal doing stand-up comedy, even starting from the beginning, was to just have a bunch of material that I can do that kills, that works, shows exactly who I am as a person, and just put it on an album, on CDs, Spotify, vinyl, everything, every which way possible. Just have that album, but it has to be good. That's the thing about, like, they don't say about comedy. You can have a special, but I guess nowadays you can have a special that's not even, well, no, that's been a thing. Like, well, maybe even with, because Sam Kinison, like his first albums, his first specials were really good, and then the later ones that he did were just dog shit. Richard Pryor has a few albums where it is him bombing, but it's not bad. It's kind of like it's cool to see. I believe it's, if it's not Live and Smoking, there's another album where it's just like it's like in a nightclub or like a bar and not really doing so good. You got Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks has an album. I think it was songs, or what is it? Jokes in E minor. What was it? It was a comedy music album, which I think is a phenomenal album. But there's a lot of there's a lot of fucking tracks on there where he's just going. He's being Bill Hicks. He's screaming. He's fucking cupping the microphone. He's the devil. Like, nobody's, like, it's just dead. Like, there's so many moments on that album where he had some bad moments. So I think even on the Flying Saucer Tour album, he might have had a couple bits on there where it was a lot of him just bombing. He was a fucking crazy. He's an inspiration. He kind of inspired me not to do comedy, but, like, I didn't know comedy could be like that. I didn't know, like, cause I was a kid. I was being a hoodlum. I was out here, like, doing acid and being a skater and skipping school every day. I had dropped out of high school. I was, I'm out here. I was in a band. I was like 17, going all the way out to Eagle Rock, trying to record an album. Like, I did. I lived a very unconventional adolescence, I guess. So by the time I got older, and COVID, this was pre-COVID for sure. Like, I was probably like 18, 19. Started listening to Bill Hicks, and I'm just like, wow, like, I didn't know comedy was so prolific. That's when I realized how prolific the art of stand-up actually is. because I'm just used to Gabriel Iglesias and um Jeff Dunham, and like there's a lot of like philosophy in their work too. I'm not saying that it doesn't reach that next level of stand up, but like, Carlos Mencia is a prime example. Like a lot of his stuff is just very goofy, like stereotypes, and you know whether he stole it or not. I mean, I'm pretty a lot of stuff he probably did steal. I can't say for sure, but they don't allow comments on any of his Instagram posts, which is fucking crazy. Or any post with like, geez, I'm just going crazy with the voice cracks. But I think like if the improv post about Carlos Mencia, they turn off the comments. But they go crazy like no matter what. So it's a make or break decision. But there's a lot of comics where it's like, they're Dane Cook. I don't think Dane Cook is very prolific in his work. Some of it is. Most of it is just stories, and how he has a hot young wife who was in high school, and how he got stalked, and his shit is very bro. It's bro-esque, dude. Like anybody that's a bro that lived that bro life, they put, he's loud. He's just that. A lot of people don't say it's funny. I mean, that's up to speculation. Seems a lot of people were laughing in a lot of those, unless he put the laugh tracks after after the fact from a different show. Um, you know, Joey Diaz is very prolific, even though he's also, he has a lot of crazy stories. So there's a lot of comics that are very prolific, and some of them just, they're very silly, and they're they just do a lot of stereotypes, and whether it's racial humor, political humor, like it's not bad. Again, it's an art, so it's up to speculation. There's a lot of people that think it's funny. So but if I have it, like, if I would have an album, like my first album, it has to be something that I'm proud of. Can't be like one of those albums which it's like, this is what I have to say, whether you like it or not, or think it's funny or not. This is how I'm going to release it. I'm not ready for that type of fame yet. So not for me, not yet. But yeah, I do want to do music again. I just gotta, get my shit together, figure it out. Gotta write some more songs. I really want to get Aesthetico out there. A lot of you don't know, but that's kind of my band that I was working on when I was 18, and there's a lot of good songs in there that I still kind of hold nearly and dearly to me. So it's something that I want to release for myself. And if people like it, then that's cool. I know a lot of people do really like the songs that we've done. I've gotten a lot of great feedback, mainly from people that I don't know. when I was at the Regent the other week, where that guy fucking sucker punched me at the beginning of the show. I was kind of just pissed off through the rest of the show. I was hanging out with some of my friends. Like, I ran into a lot of people here and there, so I was hanging out with everybody for a while as much as I could. And I was upstairs in the balcony. I was gonna go downstairs to get some water, and this guy stopped me. And I don't honestly don't. Okay, I feel bad. I hope if you're listening to this. I got sucker punched. I was pissed. I was dehydrated. I was high. There were so many factors going on, so I apologize if I don't remember. Well, if I don't, this is what I remember from my perspective. I'm trying to go downstairs to get a cup of water, and this kid stops me. I don't know how old he was. He was just typical rocker vest guy looking, And he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I know you," and I'm like, "Fuck, great." What the fuck do you know me from? Like, that's not what I said, but that's how I felt. I was just like, oh, great, like, oh yeah, like, what, you seen me before? Like, he's like, yeah, I've seen you perform, and I'm like, oh, like, so I don't know if he saw me do stand up or if he saw me perform under Aesthetico, with my band. And so, but he was telling me that, oh, he's like, you sing, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. So I'm like, okay, yeah. So he probably knows me from my band or whatever. And but every time I go to a show, I always run into somebody that knows me from Estetico, and I'm always surprised because I never played that much shows, and well, I mean, we played a decent amount, and anytime we played a show, like somebody was fucking up. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've had some times where I fucked up due to like, you know, technical errors or, never because I was too fucked up. I'm never too fucked up to play. So, well, that's up for debate, but um like, there's times where like the equipment sucks, or I can't reach my full potential cuz the drums suck, or maybe we practice it and we don't practice enough, and I don't know. So many factors that go into it, and we've had some okay performances, we've had some good performances, some very very good performances. But I try not to let the bad performances outweigh anything. It's like it's an experience. So you kind of learn from it. Like if you let it stop you from performing, then you kind of already lost most of the battle. But there's still a way to come back, and it's just you got to take those L's and you need to learn from them. Get back in the studio, go back to the drawing board, try something new, try something fresh. So, cuz sometimes it's not like the way you play it and how it sounds, because no matter what, like people are gonna see you play and they're like, oh, I can't do that. Like they structured a song together, like they practice, they rehearse, they do all this shit. Like that's what a lot of the times I feel like they're really appreciating. But if you're not confident in the notes you're playing, and you're not confident in like how something is going to sound or how you're gonna transition into it, then I feel like that's a writing error. That's like you got to go back to the drawing board at that point and like maybe like flip something or add like an extra verse or change a verse or do this and that. Like think of another melody that you can add to it. Need more ideas, because a lot of the times the song is fine, like the foundation, the structure. Sometimes you just need to add something, take something away, make it more simple. It's all a part of the game. Can't hate the game. But yeah. So I'll do music again one day. I mean, I have it. I still have it down. Like, I'm not forgetting any of these songs anytime soon. So it's all a matter of just getting in the studio and perfecting the song itself, and like, just having something to listen to, but not just a song to listen to, but something to experience, basically. I remember when I recorded stuff for Balance Code. We went to this R2 we went to R2 recordings, and I'm going to take a piss real quick and then we'll talk about the story, cuz this is a really nice story. I want to get into this. So. And we're back with more. So I want to say the year had to been 2017. Month, I don't know. Maybe leaning towards March. April. We'll do a fact check on that. The next time we tell the story, we'll get it right. But the year was definitely 2017. Had to have been 17. And, when we were doing Balance Code, we were just playing shows mainly. So, but we were the ones throwing the shows. A lot of the shows were just, whatever. It was us, a couple of friends, bands, and eventually we just saved up enough money. Even I was in charge of I was in charge of a couple house shows. The money that we made from one show in particular was enough for us to record an album and enough for me to buy a skateboard. So I took it as a fucking W. I thought it was sick, but that was a different show. So that was a different album. The album in particular that I'm talking about, the two albums in particular, which we ended up releasing as one album, it is we recorded all of that at one studio. Our two recordings, they're no longer there, but they were in Echo Park. And the funniest thing too, the first time we went to that studio to record this first batch of songs, there's this coffee shop next door, and apparently, well, I believe so, from there was this coffee shop next door, and I guess the people that were in the studio, they were there and they saw a member of the Frights and a member of the Drums both in one. They were both like having coffee together or eating something. And I was like, oh, well, that's pretty cool. And I don't want to say hi to them or anything, but because I don't like coming up to people when they're eating and stuff like that, or they're busy like with somebody. I don't know. But it was just cool. It was very cool, like the fact that that happened. Mikey, I believe his name was. We like to call him Mike because we're just cool like that. And no, but so we went to the studio. We recorded about 4 songs. Without these songs that we had already had down, so a couple of them at least. The main song I'm talking about is "Courageous Inhibition," which is like a very surfy punk rock song that we did. I forget why I was mentioning that song, but if you guys want to connect the dots, feel free. But that song in particular, though, well, I wrote that when I was 15 going on 16. Really good song in my opinion. It's one of my favorite songs that I've written. Like a lot of people like it too. I say that I've written because that song I've taken a lot more time on. As far as the riff goes, the melody, the melody change, the drums were done by our original drummer, but I kind of like still laid out the pattern in a way. So it's a really good song, and there's a lot of songs that I have that I kind of just want to get out there before I go on to my next project, which is going to be mainly me focusing on my singing because I love, I feel like singing goes underrated in a lot of bands. It's very rare when you come across a band that has like, very, very good vocal patterns and vocal melodies, and they kind of offer something different to the band. So, and it separates them from every other band that's out there in Los Angeles. A lot of bands, they don't have a a lot of them, there's like I feel like the ones with dedicated frontmans, like just singing, a lot of them, they have more potential than if it was them singing with the guitar. But I do, I like doing leads, so that's kind of one of the main reasons why I like doing guitar and singing. But for the meantime, like for playing live, I would rather just sing and just do that. But, I got to get together with some musicians, so the only thing holding me back. So, yeah, we got a spot later today at the green room. We're going to go do that. 10 minutes. 10 minutes make you holler. I love doing 10 minutes, honestly. That's where I'm at right now. So it saves me enough time to like riff and to like, to before I even get into the material. and it helps, reading the room and kind of just throwing stuff out there, because there's a lot of ideas where I feel like they come to you while you're on stage. Like, like when I do this, I don't have a fucking notebook in front of me. Like, I'm not like reading off of notes. Like, I'm doing a lot of this off the top of my head. So just whatever's going through my mind, whatever I have been dealing with or whatever. Um, I'm not like, I don't have a script here. So this is just me. This is just me and a microphone. But like when it comes to doing like, stand up, like sometimes you have to like look at your notes if you don't have it all thought out. And I took my notes on stage yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before. Yesterday I actually didn't even do any stage time. Um, so I just there's just something that I'm trying to work on, that I'm gonna end up running this either at the happy hour mic at the Improv, or I'm gonna run it at Set of the Night, or even Potluck. But gotta get my shit together on that. My car's been fucking dead. Haven't had a battery ever since I had lost my job. So, but we ball. So I gotta get a new battery. And that's kind of one thing holding me back, really. If I had my car, ooh shit, I would at least be doing some DoorDash or something. Make a little bit of money. But I got some money. I had some money saved up, so it wasn't too bad. And I've been, looking around, applying myself accordingly. Yep, and that's just what we do. We ball. It's been fun. I might have a short episode today. I mean, I don't know. I ain't got much to talk about. I've been running my new stuff that, all the stuff that works is gonna go onto an album. Just I have to think of the right theme. It all has to come together. And I'm not gonna rush it. If anything, this thing will probably come out next year or towards the end of this year. It has to be good. So that goes out to anybody that wants to release something, like, especially when it comes to comedy. I feel like it has to be worked on. Like, it has to it like there's okay, like with music, like there's some songs that stand the test of time. Some songs are just like, it was cool for its era, but this, like with comedy, like it's the same thing. Like you listen to something from the 80s, like, oh, that's totally 80s comedy, like just straight up. But if you listen to something like now, like if you listen to like Dave Chappelle talking about transgenders, you're not gonna hear that from the 80s. At least you're not gonna hear them say the word transgender. You're gonna hear him say a little a different word, a little pizzazz to it. And no, it's so much things that change over time. So I think this one is something that I'm really working on. But what I'm working on right now is something I'm really proud of. But I'm not gonna be posting any reels or clips anytime soon. The only reels or clips I like to post are like roast battle, because it's like those, they either work or they don't. That's it. And sometimes you use the energy of the room to your advantage. Sometimes the room hates you. Sometimes the room fucking wants you to get roasted. So it depends. Those situations depend, but it's gonna be real fun. Got a couple of those coming up. Yeah. Trying to get my the storytelling show won't happen until I have a place to host it. So if anybody wants to host a silly little storytelling show hosted by yours truly, you don't even got to worry about the hosting. And if you want to work out a deal money wise, I mean, hey, I'm very flexible, so we can do that. Just give me a chance. I pitched a show to the Lyric Hyperion, and I think maybe I shouldn't have been so faded when I had written the message. So they never got back to me, but you know, it's kind of like journalism. You know, some people are willing to help the cause. Some people are just would rather stay silent. It's no fault to anybody, but the fear of being something bigger than yourself, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, short little episode today. But you know what? We ball, we have fun. Uh, yeah, just stay posted, stay truchas, and do your fucking drills every morning. That's it, man.